Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I am taking you with me to the happiest place on earth, my favorite used bookstore called McKay's. It's actually a two-story used bookstore, and I went with some friends from my in-person book club, and we had a wonderful time picking out books, and then we also went to a really special coffee shop after this that I'll show you clips of as well. But I hope you enjoy getting a little sneak peek of the shelves, and I will share my haul afterwards. Hi friends, it's the next day and I have a lovely little stack of books here to share with you that I am quite excited about. I'm also really proud of myself because I had a bag packed with books to unhaul and I came home with less books than I dropped off, so that's a win. I think that most of these are classics, so I'm not going to split up this haul into genres like I typically would. Instead, I'm just going to share what I have. One that I know is not classics, I actually got this from the free bin outside the store, and this is a nonfiction and it's called Without You There Is No Us by Suki Kim. And I didn't even really flip through it, but the subtitle says my time with some of North Korea's elite, and it's a memoir, and I am so intrigued by this, so I was really excited to find this one for free. Also in the free bin outside was The Quiet Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott, and this is a Christmas story, as it says on the front. It's just a tiny little volume, and I read the inside flap, and apparently it was a story that Louisa May Alcott wrote for someone as a Christmas story, and it's about a little orphan girl, and that's really all I know about it, but I couldn't resist. Okay, moving on. I got a couple of Shakespeare books. I have all of Shakespeare's plays in multiple different books, like an antique book, and then I have like a Barnes and Noble edition. But I really love these Signet classics because they have all the footnotes at the bottom of like different meanings of words and things like that, and that was super helpful for Claire and I this year when we did our first official Shakespeare plays. We did As You Like It and Hamlet, and so we already have plans to kick off this school year with Macbeth. So I have, this one has 4 tragedies in it, so Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth, and this one has 4 comedies, The Taming of the Shrew, Midsummer Night's Dream, Twelfth Night, and The Tempest. So I'm really excited to have found these because they had like the individual ones of these, but all the individual ones were at like $2 to $4. So the fact that there's 4 in there and this one's $3.25 and this one's $4.75, that feels like an excellent deal. It feels like it wouldn't be a trip to McKay's if I didn't come home with a Willa Cather, and this cover really matches the last few books I have gotten from McKay's that have been Willa Cather books that have been older. I have her 5 Stories collection I got there, and then I think a Lost Lady, and they're all this same type of cover, same font, same kind of like, I guess, odd illustration. And yeah, so this one is about an apothecary who used to live in Paris, and then he moves to Canada with his daughter, and that's the story. And I don't think I've read any Cather books that are set in Canada, so that's really interesting. I also seem to almost always come home with a Joseph Conrad from McKay's, and this is Under Western Eyes, which I've never heard of before. On the back it says that when he was alive this was not one of his more popular works, but it's come to join Nostromo and the Secret Agent as a recognized member of the powerful sequence of books he wrote on the crises of modern history, politics, and revolution. So That's intriguing. I also found a book I'd never heard of, but I was intrigued by the title, Who Has Seen the Wind? And it was only 75 cents, as you can see. It takes place in the Saskatchewan prairie, and I feel like I've read several books this year that take place on the prairie, and I just love descriptions of that. So I went shopping with my in-person book club, and my friend Whitney Drew was there. She also has a channel, and she's been talking about how much she loves prairie books. So I'm like, I'm getting this book, and I feel like if it's good, it's one you're gonna want to borrow. I found a Langston Hughes book there, Not Without Laughter, and I didn't realize that Langston Hughes wrote novels. I feel like I should have known that, but when I think of Langston Hughes, I think of poetry, and I think he wrote plays as well, but I didn't really realize that he wrote novels. So I was really intrigued by this one. The cover says right on it, the novel of a young Black boy's awakening to the sad and beautiful realities of Black life in a small Kansas town. So I'm really excited about this one. I also found a Tobias Smollett book, which he was one of Dickens' favorite authors, and it's called Humphrey Clinker. It has like the goofiest cover and kind of the goofiest title. It looks really piratey, but I didn't even read the back. I just picked it up because it was only 50 cents. It says it's a mirthful tale of a tour by coach and four through cities and a countryside. 5 people embark on the journey: the crusty, eccentric Squire Bramble, his husband-hunting sister Tabitha, her maid Winifred, and Bramble's youthful niece and nephew Lydia and Jerry. En route, they are joined by Humphrey Clinker, an honest Wiltshire lad of tattered cloth and empty purse. As misadventure follows misadventure, each character reveals his true self by giving his own conflicting view of the incidents, places, and people encountered along the way. So I have not yet read any Tobias Smollett, but it's been something I've wanted to do for a while, is kind of read some favorite books of favorite authors of mine. So I have actually been really interested in picking up a Tobias Smollett. I don't know if this is one of his more famous ones or not, but I was pretty excited to find it because I feel like he's relatively obscure at used bookstores. I don't know if you ever read the Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle books. I read those to Claire when she was little and she really, really loved them. But I found this book called Onions in the Stew by the same author. Apparently this is her, I think it says her final memoir. So I don't know how many come before it, but this is a story of her having a farm. I think it says where, it just says Vashon Island, which I actually don't know where that is. But that's what this is about, and I think that her writing is really whimsical for children, so I'm curious to see how that translates to a memoir. I also found a Norton Critical edition of Dr. Faustus, and I haven't read Dr. Faustus yet, but I'm really intrigued by it, and the fact that it's a Norton Critical edition is really nice as well. I did flip through it, and it does have quite a bit of notes in various places, so I don't know if someone was doing this for school or something. That would make sense. But the nice part is that there are places where they have put notes that are like translations of Latin and things like that, so that feels helpful. And the last book that I'm going to share with you is the book that I'm the most excited about. I can't believe I found a Mariah Edgeworth book. I am always looking for them there, and I've never seen one there before. I particularly was looking for Belinda, but this is Castle Rackrent and Ennui. So it's 2 books in one. Castle Rackrent is a story of an Irish family, and it says on the back that it's unreliably narrated by one of their servants and is apparently really funny. And Ennui is the sequel. So I was thrilled to find this. So excited. I haven't read any Mariah Edgeworth yet, but I really want to. I don't remember if she's either was someone who inspired Jane Austen or if she was a contemporary of Jane Austen, but Jane Austen loved her works regardless and has, I think, referenced them in some of her works as well. And so I'm so excited that I found one of her books there. So that's my little haul. I guess I shouldn't say little because it's like a dozen books, but I left with a lot more than a dozen books. So that feels really, really good. I'm really pleased about that. In fact, what I spent on books was actually less than what I had for store credit, but I picked up a few other things while I was there for my daughter, and so I actually did go over my store credit with that, but that's fine. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Have you read any of these books before? And if so, I would love to hear your thoughts. And if there's a book that you're intrigued by or would like me to read sooner rather than later, tell me that too. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me. And I will see you again next time.